Today we are chatting all about time blocking. I'm gonna share how I use time blocking to run my business well. Honestly, time blocking is something that has really given me the ability to run my business well and successfully without just working all day. Before we get into it, if you have a client that is relocating to Oregon or just needs a real estate agent in Oregon, send them our way. We would love to give you a referral fee. We get reach outs from real estate agents like you all over the country that have clients who are in our area who need a real estate agent, and those are honestly some of our very favorite type of clients to work with. Feel free to shoot me an email anytime. Let's become referral partners. So in our business, we don't trade dollars for hours. We don't get paid based off of how many hours we work. So because of that, I have become extremely intentional and focused with my time and what I do while I'm working and how I plan my work schedule. I just did a video a few weeks back where I shared my schedule as a real estate agent. So if you haven't already, go check out that video as well. You can find it over on our channel. I really just wanted to go more in depth on time blocking specifically and how we use it. So let me just heat up a little bit. Okay, so what is the difference between time blocking and simply just creating a schedule? The biggest difference is that time blocking is so much more flexible, and I would say if you have a lifestyle like mine where you and your spouse are both running a business together while having a family, you do most of it from home, you don't have an office that you go to, and your life really looks like blending all of the things. Everything is blended into one. It's not compartmentalized. If that's how your life looks like ours does, then I feel like time blocking is so much more conducive for that lifestyle than having a super strict schedule. So I'll give just an example, a quick example of a time block and what that might look like. So I have my morning time block. That has a handful of things that I do. I sit and drink my coffee, preferably by myself, but sometimes my child is with me. I do some sort of a workout most days, whether that's going to the gym or doing a, like today I did a 15-minute Pilates workout video on my phone on my back deck. So I got some morning sunlight while I did that. And then it includes having breakfast with my daughter, sitting down and actually eating together. So those are just a few things that are all in my morning time block. I am scheduling the rest of my day around this block. These are things that are basically, like, for the most part, unless there's a crazy exception, non-negotiable for me most days, but it's not scheduled to where it's like 8 o'clock you're at the gym and then 9 you're eating breakfast. Like, it's definitely not scheduled like that to where there's a specific time that it needs to be done. It's more just like, this is the morning block, this is the morning chunk, and these are the things we're gonna do, and that's my time that I have set aside for doing it. And then when that morning block's over, like, I'm moving on to the next thing. I hope that makes sense. My first tip is I plan my schedule at the beginning of the week, and I put the most important non-negotiable things in my schedule, and then I'm gonna plan the rest of my week around that. So that might look like a date with my husband, doing something with friends, a date with my daughter, something that's work related that I know that needs to be on my schedule, like a Zoom call that I have with a client that they need this specific time. Like, whatever all those things are that are important to me, those are going on my schedule first, and then I'm going to plan the rest of the things that come up around those things. Basically, if I'm gonna do something, then I put a time block for it on my calendar, whether it is putting my clients on a property search, going to the gym, a play date, getting groceries. Literally, I time block house chores, batch writing scripts for videos that are gonna bring us more business. If it's on my schedule, it's gonna happen. If it's not on my schedule, it's not gonna happen. And I time block all of those things. I just feel like there's so many distractions in this day and age, whether it's your phone or even not your phone, just other things like, I don't know, I feel like there's just a million things that could be pulling you in different directions, especially working from home, which I'll get into that later. But when you're working from home, like, that can be so distracting because there's so many other things you can do. And that's where time blocking, I think, is really beneficial, because although I'm at home like a lot of the time, I'm really like, I know what I'm doing that day. I'm very focused on what I'm doing, and I'm not gonna be wasting time in a certain time block doing something else that's not as urgent, if that makes sense. So we'll get into that a little bit later, but I think time blocking really helps so much, eliminating distractions and helping you just make the best use of your time. Another thing that I time block is my prospecting days. These are non-negotiable, same day every single week. If it was not in my schedule blocked for like the same day, I don't think that it would get done, honestly. The thing with prospecting for your business, and if you're not familiar with the term, prospecting means going out and getting business. It could look so many different ways, but it's the number one thing that realtors need to be doing. It's the most important thing that we need to be doing, because you could be the best at taking care of your clients, but it's not going to matter because you won't have any clients to take care of if you're not prospecting consistently. So that's why prospecting needs to be in the schedule, because prospecting is something that it's definitely not urgent. It's not like, oh my gosh, this needs to be taken care of today. It definitely could be pushed to another day, but I think that's like all the more reason why it needs to be in the schedule, same day, every week, or it's just not gonna become part of your routine and it's not going to happen. So for me, that used to look like cold calling. I would schedule, before the week even started, I would schedule the days I was going to cold call and the days I was going to follow up with those clients, and even the days when I was going to create, because I used to send a lot of mail. I don't anymore, but I would schedule the days that I was going to be preparing the mail that I would be sending to these people that I was prospecting to. Like, all of that would be on my schedule before the week started, and then I would plan the rest of my week, if you will, around those activities. Now, the majority of our business comes through video marketing, through YouTube. We have 3 different YouTube channels. One of them is where the bulk of our business comes from. It's called Oregon Homes with Mariah Vetress Crawford. We talk all about living in Oregon, and people moving to Oregon come to us all the time through that channel. And so that is our number one priority. Although we do get business from all of the YouTube channels in different ways, the other ones are just don't produce nearly as much, if that makes sense, as that one. So making content for that channel is on our schedule every single week, non-negotiable. I also put time in my schedule to write the scripts, to create the video scripts for that content. I will plan the rest of my week around those things, because although they don't seem that important, it's easy to think like, why would creating a YouTube video or writing a script for a YouTube video be one of the most important things on your schedule that you're literally planning your week around? But if it's what's bringing you the bulk of your business and you stop doing it, you're gonna stop getting all these leads coming in. It's really something that should be prioritized. If it doesn't become a consistent part of your business, then it is never going to start bringing you the leads and the income that it could bring you. So that's why I treat it like it is a meeting with a $1 million client, because I have received $1 million closings from it. And so that is the price tag that I put on it. I really see the importance. And I think the biggest thing though, if you're gonna put something like that, whether it is cold calling, video creating, door knocking, or any other type of prospecting that you could do, if you're gonna be like putting it on your schedule and making it an appointment with yourself every week that is non-negotiable, like this does not move, then the only way to really do that is to see the value in it. Like, you really have to have a strong why behind that. And I think if you maybe just put out a few videos here and there, but you don't really see anything from it, like, it could be really easy to just be like, well, it's not that important. But once you actually see like, no, I closed $1 million deal because of this, then it becomes easier to put that price tag on it, if you will, like that value on it, and be like, okay, I really need to protect this because it is important and it is really valuable for my business. So kind of turned into a little rant on creating video for your business, but that is how I time block that at this point in time. Another tip that works for me, might work for you, might not, nap time. Having a toddler honestly really makes time blocking very easily, because nap time is that time chunk, unless it's one of the 2 days out of the week that are my longer work days. Every other day, I am really only working, for the most part. I explained this a lot more in my video where I went in depth on my schedule, but for the most part, I'm really only working during my daughter's nap time. However, it's really easy to time block that chunk of time to get whatever is the most important work for me to get done that day into that chunk of time, because I know it's gonna happen at some point every day. There's always a nap time that's gonna happen for the most part, unless we're like traveling or out and about and like we decide to just skip it. We're not super strict with time. Like that's why this is another thing that's a time block, because it doesn't happen at like the same time every day. Sometimes my daughter doesn't nap and she'll just have a like quiet time in her room, because we're very consistent with like keeping this block where she gets to just like read books in her room and be by herself for a little bit. And that is a time block where I already know, before I get to that part of my day, I already know what are the most urgent things that need my attention right now to be working on, and that's what I'm going to immediately start doing once that nap time block begins in my day. I will time block into my day cleaning my house. Generally, I'm going to clean it once a week. I know ahead of time it's not the same day every single week, but I do look at my schedule ahead of time, and I then decide like which day is this going to fit into a time block into my schedule. And that helps me to not just randomly start cleaning because I'm working from home. So obviously we keep it clean throughout the week. Like if someone makes a mess, it gets picked up. It's not like my house is dirty in between times, but I always try to plan this house cleaning day for, usually if I know we're having people over for dinner, for example, then I will just have my house cleaning day be that day or the day before, so that it's nice and clean when guests come over, and then I will clean it again the following week, so I don't have to like clean it twice, if that makes sense. I think if you don't have boundaries for yourself on when you can clean and when you're not gonna clean, when you're working from home, it can be really easy to just like get distracted and start doing other things that aren't work related, and maybe it's not the best use of your time. If you use time blocking, or if you don't use time blocking, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. I love chatting with you guys in the comment section below. If you're a real estate agent, or if you're just into real estate topics, then head over to our channel. We have a handful of playlists that you might find value from, and we will see you guys next week.